Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Renew Podcast. I am your host, Kristen Andre, and with me today, we're doing Girlfriend Month here. So with me today, I have brought in my girlfriend, Kwavi, who many of you guys know from Kwavi TV. So I'm excited about this one because today's episode is called 50 Things Over 50. 50 Things About Being Over 50.
Yeah.
Because you just did a really cool series. Mm-hmm. And I first heard it, and I got to guest on your series, which was awesome. Because you work with women over the age of 50.
Correct.
All us old folks.
Yes.
Okay. But what I thought was really cool in the series, well, first of all, I was drawn in by the title. Because have you seen the 50 Shades series?
I haven't seen it, though. I just put it there.
That's why I was a little surprised, because I know how sweet and innocent you are. And I'm like, oh, Kwavi's going there with the 50. All right, I read the books. I saw the movies. I may have seen the movies a few times. This could be why I have issues, but we'll digress. But it was, all right, first of all, your series is not like the movies, because I was like, I don't even know what we're going to talk about. But it drew me in, though, because I thought the title was great. Mm-hmm. Because when you hear the over 50, like from the series, the over 50 shade, the 50 Shades, you sit there and think, oh, this is like craziness, wild, fun, but you don't equate it with 50 age.
Right.
Because historically, when we talk about 50 and 50 Shades, it's all kind of hotness. But when we talk about 50, when it comes to age, we think Golden Girls.
Yeah.
And no offense to the Golden Girls, because I love me some Golden Girls. But that's what we think of. We think of old women. Mm-hmm. And so your whole quest is to change that.
Is to change that whole perception.
Okay, so what got you into this?
Well, I guess so what really got me into it was when I turned 48.
Okay.
I did a series of interviews because I was trying to find out, I'm going into this golden age now. Let me speak with other women who are already 50. And I'll be honest with you, I was just disappointed because I would say maybe 80% of the women I interviewed described themselves as invisible.
Oh, that's sad.
And I was like, oh no, this cannot be happening. And I just made it my mission to really change the perception and the negative narrative surrounding women 50 and over, and give women opportunity to really live out their life on their own terms if they wanted to. Because there's some women that just want to kind of, just do that. That's fine. But if you want more, which I'm beginning to discover there are lots of women who want more, I'm here for you. Like, I'm going to help you do that.
But that's so important, because I think when I hit, I would say mid 40s is when I kind of started, all right, I'll be honest with you. I kind of started getting ticked off. I kind of started going, this is stupid. Mm-hmm. I'm tired of pleasing everybody else. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to be me. And with me, like one of my things is, being unapologetic, and I'm not for everyone, and that's cool with me.
Okay. Right.
But I feel like most of, our friend group, we all kind of embrace that. Mm-hmm. So it makes me sad to think that there are a lot of people that feel invisible, because this is the time where I feel like we can show up and say, hey,
this is it.
Love me or hate me, here we are.
Yeah, but you'll be surprised. There are so many women out there, and there are probably people listening to this saying, yeah, that's me. I really don't want to show up. And I really believe that human nature, there isn't anyone that really wants to be invisible. Now, don't get me wrong. Not everyone wants to be like front page visible, like I'm right there in the front. That's me. I don't care. There are some people who want to be backstage visible, sometimes in the middle, but no one wants to be invisible. I mean, no, that's just a human need that you want to be visible in some way.
Well, even if you want to be seen by like the people closest to you.
Thank you. Exactly.
So what were they meaning by invisible?
They just felt that they weren't being seen anymore, that they were being told that they shouldn't go after their goals anymore, that it was too late for them, that it was over. And I was like, really? I'm like, but why do you have to take that as your own truth? And see, that's my guide. It's like, that's where I come in. I want to let women know that doesn't have to be your own truth. Even if society is saying that, it doesn't have to be yours.
Right. And let's talk about the society for a minute, because I do feel like that's been the thing. So last year, it was like, I don't even know what year it is, because I think the calendar stopped. But all right, so in 2020, when we had the Super Bowl, we had the whole thing was whatever year it was, 2020. J-Lo. That's how we started our year with J-Lo.
Yeah.
And
that
there was all this stuff. I'm telling you, nobody's like, well, she shouldn't be wearing that. I would wear that to church if I looked like J-Lo in that outfit. Like, I'm not kidding.
Was it interesting?
I'd be pulling up at North Point with my little stuff.
It was interesting, the two camps of people. There were
There
like people
were
like, no
totally
way. And they were
two
like,
camps.
yes. It was so divided.
And people were like, she should be ashamed. I'm like, she shouldn't be
What?
ashamed. She
No way.
should be parading all around. But that, because they don't say that when Cardi B puts it on, because she's 20 something.
And that's the thing. It's like we live in this society that is just youth obsessed. If you're young, you can do that. But once you get to a certain age, oh no, you can't wear shorts. It's like there's certain rules. And I'm like, but those rules don't apply to you unless you make them yours. It's like, who put those rules there? Like, why?
Well, it's true. And it's an arbitrary, I can't even talk this morning. Arbitrary set of rules that, like, I don't know who came up with them. And I have always historically been a rule follower. Shocking as that may be.
Really?
Now, my brother was breaking
The
all
opposite.
the rules. Oh, were you?
Oh, yeah.
See, I would think you're a rule follower.
No, I'm a second born. We do not follow rules.
Oh,
no way. No.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I'm a firstborn. I'm the oldest, so I followed all the rules.
That's why.
My brother was younger. He did not follow all the rules. So I was trying to be, but I did. I did everything, and I was also raised in the South, which, you know, you were seen and not heard. You just kind of followed all the rules.
Yeah.
I did all the things I was supposed to do. But once I got older, then I got where I was like, okay, or do the rules serve me? Now, I'm obviously going to be kind to people and all that type of stuff, but we have this, you know, ageism as we get older. I think being over 50 gives you an opportunity to be unapologetic, to be yourself.
Yes.
And more, you mentioned, you know, wanting to be seen. More businesses are launching. The biggest group, I'm sure you know this, the biggest group of entrepreneurs launching new businesses are women over the age of 50.
Of course. Oh, yeah.
And it's because their kids are, I mean, you're getting closer with your boys getting closer to being gone.
Yeah.
They're reinventing themselves.
And I think, you know, I think we just need to just say, you know what? Who cares about society? What do you want to do? Like what? And question everything. I really believe in that so much. It's like, ask the questions. Like, your thoughts, we know we're going to have negative thoughts throughout the day. That's guaranteed. However, when those thoughts come up, just ask yourself, is this serving me? Right. Is this helpful to me?
Right.
Do I really need, is this really true? Because sometimes it's not even true, and you just accept it as a truth.
So what advice you give when you're working with women? Because one thing I'm extremely skilled at is having a negative thought just spiral down rapidly. It can come into my little brain. Yesterday, I was on the negative thought train yesterday. I literally looked at my daughter and was like, you need to just go, because this is not going to end well for you. You could just say hello. And I was just in that mood yesterday. But we do that. We start having all these negative thoughts and they go, zzz.
Yeah.
So how do people reshape? Because I feel like a lot of the negative thoughts are ingrained in us. Like it's too late, you're too old, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, the too late is a big one, and too old. But one of the things I really tell my clients to do, and I advise for those listening, is write down your thoughts. Like, write down those thoughts. Like, and then when you write them down, really question them. Like, is this really true? Is this helpful? Like, really, is it really helpful? And that's the bottom line. Like, if you're going towards a goal and you just see that this isn't helping you, like, it's too old, but then you have this desire to maybe fly a plane or take flying lessons. It's like, but who's stopping you? And your brain is going to sabotage you all the way because it doesn't know. Your brain has no idea that's even possible to you because it doesn't have evidence, right? Because it's based on what you've had in the past. But you can change that and you can decide, okay, you know what? This is this, and that's okay. It's like sometimes I tell my clients, you know what? Tell those negative thoughts to have a seat with you. Let them sit with you, embrace them, and keep going. And negative thoughts
that's what
mean
they
stop.
say. Don't try to stop the thoughts just because we can't do that.
You
We're
can't.
just not
it's going to keep coming up.
So just have it, sit with it, and then
just do what you need to do. Yeah, because even though you have a negative thought, it doesn't mean you can't still go after your goal. That's the thing. Sometimes people say, okay, because it's here, I can't do this. You can have the negative thought and still go ahead and do what you need to do. So
what do you think, once women listen, I know we've got some people commenting, that aren't 50 yet, but they said they're enjoying getting closer. It's funny though, because I feel like in my 20s, the parts of my 20s I recall, not because I was being crazy, but because the memory lapses.
Yeah.
No, the 20s, you're just you.
Correct.
I think that's changing. Because I will say my daughter who's in her 20s she's definitely more opinionated and vocal than I feel like we were at that age.
Probably.
Yeah. And so I feel like kids nowadays, I say kids in their 20s nowadays, they're more apt to just kind of say what they think.
Correct. Yeah.
I don't always agree with what she says. She should be in class or at her internship right now. She's probably not listening. A lot of times she's wrong. Yeah. We won't tell her that. But, I mean, I do tell her that. But she's like, they just say what they think. So I feel like kids now are starting to be a little bit more comfortable. And they're not growing up going, seen and not heard.
Right.
You're supposed to do, just follow along everything adults say. True. And I had this conversation with my middle one last week. There's a difference between speaking your opinion and being respectful. Like sometimes I'm not talking about arguing. I'm just saying you still need to have respect for people.
Correct.
But you can
voice your opinion.
You can voice your opinion.
Yeah.
And I feel like the sooner kids start, and kids in 20s, 30s, teens, 40s, whatever, sooner they start to do that, they're not going to have all these, who am I when I get to 50? Because I feel like a lot of 50-year-olds are having to reinvent themselves.
Yeah, because they've pleased other people, whether it's their parents, society, all this time, and they get to a point where they're like, okay, so who am I really?
Right.
Like they look in the mirror and like, who am I? I mean, I hear that a lot.
Well, and that's what we hear about reinventing ourselves is because we never invented. We're not reinventing ourselves. We forgot to invent ourselves originally.
Along the way, exactly, because you were satisfying other people's goals or expectations that they had for you, and so now you're like, I want to be me.
Yeah. So how do people all right, so we're talking, this applies to anybody. We're talking particularly to the over 50 crowd here. How do people start to do that if they want to invent themselves or reinvent themselves? Because I know in one of my many therapist sessions that I've had throughout the years, we were talking, the therapist and I were talking, he's like, what do you enjoy? What hobbies do you have? And I was like, well, I do martial arts. And he's like, okay, what's your hobby? I'm like, well, I compete, I do. And he's like, no, that's your daughter's hobby that you also happen to do. So I feel like so many of us, the things that we gravitated towards were situational.
Yes, for
sure.
So
they were a temporary obsession as opposed to a true passion, something that came from the heart. So when you get to the kids are gone or close to being gone, or you've got some flexibility in your schedule, which a lot of our friends are getting to, we can leave their kids at my house now. I don't know what they're doing.
Right.
But we get to this point where we're like, okay, I got time for me. I'm ready to do me. How do they figure out what that is? Like, what questions do you, and I know I'm going to plug your book because you got 50 questions to answer when you reach 50, which is coming out very soon.
Yes.
And I got an advanced copy. You guys don't.
Yes.
But you can get it.
Yes.
But what questions do we need to be asking ourselves to uncover that stuff?
Yeah, like one of the questions I really like to ask that I think is really important is, what did you enjoy as a child? Like, what were some of the things that really lit you up as a child?
Beating up my brother.
Okay, and what else?
Yeah, I really did enjoy that, though. Maybe that ties into the martial arts. I don't know. So
exactly.
Perhaps
maybe defending yourself. That might be, part of it.
I didn't have to defend myself.
Okay, well.
He didn't win. Okay, so what did you really enjoy as a child?
Yeah. I'm telling you, when you go back to
what was that for you?
For me, I've always been a speaker, and I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I've always loved speaking. Like, I'm the one that they're like, who wants to do this for class? Who wants to come up and speak up? I'm like, me.
I know.
I had no problems doing that. And then but the thing is, what happens though? As you get older, they kind of make you feel, I should say, you kind of accept when people make comments about it. Like, people kept saying after a while, they're like, you're talking too much. Oh, you're too loud. You need to be quiet.
Yeah.
Or, you're being too
so you let
out
them
there.
Squish you.
Oh, yes.
You let them dull your sparkle.
Yeah, and then you kind of like, kind of fade a little bit and just not show up as you would in order to let yourself shine.
I've got to find this. I'll have to find this text that a friend of mine sent me the other day, because it's true. We let all these little comments, dull our shine and dull what we really meant to do, and we don't really think. And I had a mentor one time tell me, he goes, and there's a quote he used all the time. He's like, you have no idea the effect the words you say have on someone else.
I know.
And it's so true, because if the words we say carry a lot of weight, and we may say it in passing.
Yes.
I mean, we totally may say it in passing. And I had when I was, when you're a teenager, you're trying to figure out what you want to be.
Yeah.
When I was in third grade, I wanted to own the clothing store. When I was in fifth grade, I wanted to be a truck driver, because we could totally see me as a truck driver, right? But the guy down the street had a big truck and the big rig, and he park it in front of the house. And I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever.
Right.
He gets to sleep in that. He had boots. It was awesome. So that lasted for a year or two. And then, like, I keep changing and keep changing. By the time I got into high school, I was playing sports. I really seemed to have a propensity for getting injured. But I was always fascinated by the injuries.
Yeah.
And one of our neighbors was an orthopedic surgeon. And I had a conversation with him when I was 16. I distinctly remember this. And I was like, it's so cool. He was gorgeous, single, and drove a Ferrari. I mean, I'm like, well, then this is fantastic. Let's just do this career. And he's still practicing. He's in his
Really?
Well, he's in his mid 60s
Well,
now.
physicians do practice into their 60s and 70s.
He's in his mid 60s now. My dad still sees him, so we still see him. But when I was 16 years old, I told him I really thought that was cool. I said, I think that's a cool career. I'd love it. And I remember him saying, you know, Kristen, if I had to do it all over again, I don't know if I'd do it. He goes, it's a lot of work, and I don't know if it's worth it. And I was 16 years old.
And that was it.
And that was it.
Wow.
And I did go into sports medicine. I went into physical therapy and athletic training, which is what my degree was in. But it changed the trajectory. It literally said, I don't know that I want to do med school because, you know, Kurt said it was tough. And
and that
so
was it.
That was it. And that was at 16 years old. And so I thought about that because I wrote it actually when I was writing the book. I wrote about that in there. And I started thinking back, I wonder what I've said to people over the years that squashed their dreams a little bit. So I think, you know, we've got an opportunity at our ages now to reignite those dreams, but we've also got the obligation to make sure we're not squashing them in other people.
Yes, because we can do that. Because typically they'll say most kids, probably 8 or 9, are still kind of being themselves. And right after that, they start to change based on statements they hear from parents, teachers, you know, just people around them. And slowly and surely their personality changes based on that.
And it's true. All right, so Lynn just commented she was never allowed to consider being an artist because it wasn't a serious career. It was a hobby.
Wow.
And for those of you guys that know, Lynn's friends of ours as well, who is a phenomenal artist, like insanely good.
And it's interesting
I have a few of her pieces.
Yeah, and it's interesting, you know, she brought that up because from doing my research, that's one of the careers that parents typically will discourage their kids from going into.
Right. And it's, you know, but a part of it is the kids are scared because you guys know I've had my daughter Mia on. She's co-hosted on the show a few times. And 2 years ago, Mia was going to the Air Force Academy and wanted to be an aerospace engineer and all this. And that is what she has wanted to do since she was 5. And then she got to, I don't know, it wasn't even calculus. It was whatever math she took this last year. She's like, I don't want to do math every day for the rest of my life. And like that, she has changed and now wants to go to school for film and TV. Right. And which is fantastic.
Right.
And she's funny. Like she really wants to be, she's obsessed with SNL. She wants to be a comedy writer. She'll be great.
Yes.
But she was scared to tell me.
Oh,
because she didn't know. Yeah. Because I had gone all in on Air Force Academy because that's what she had told me she wanted.
Yeah.
And it took her, everyone else knew before I did.
Oh, wow.
Well, because Dad's a musician. So, like, it fun to tell Dad because he's not going to be mad. But I handled it fine. I was like, okay, well, if that's what you're doing, let's go all in here. Let's figure out what we need to do. So we've had her on the show. She's had some cool opportunities in that space. Because I think as parents, our job is to foster whatever they want to do. So now we're trying to find her opportunities around that thing. And she's had some cool ones, which is awesome.
Nice.
But it was, you know, it was a surprise.
Yeah.
But as soon as she said it, I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Right.
But what kind of parent would I have been if I had squashed that?
Yeah. But see, that's the other thing. As parents, we do the best we can with what we know.
Right.
Because, you know, our parents probably did the same thing. And so we're mirroring that to our children. Yeah. So, I mean, you handled it great, but I'm going to say not everyone can
I handled
do that.
it great. Did you hear that?
But not everyone's going to be able to do that. And the thing is, we're going with what we know. We're like, okay, we're not sure you're going to be able to pay your bills with that. What's going to happen, you know?
I may have had that conversation with her. Because she's like, I want to go to NYU. I'm like, whoo, it's like $75,000 a year. Air Force was this is where my head as a parent went. If we're being real.
And I have to say this though, NYU is a phenomenal school for film.
It is.
Oh my goodness.
I get that.
Just saying that.
You know the tuition at Air Force Academy?
I know.
Free.
I know, but you know
so
what?
like as a parent, I've
it
got
will
this
work out.
Free, $75,000 a year. Free, $75,000 a year.
It'll work out.
I know it will.
It will.
Like,
It
sell
really
a
will.
kidney.
It will.
You can't sell a kidney in the States. I've already checked.
Well, you can do it outside.
You can. I can give you a list of the countries if you need to know. Feeling like I can do with just one. But it's true. I mean, but
Yes.
we do for whatever
Yes.
our reasons are.
Yes.
We tend to not really
Yeah.
think. But now that we're old ladies,
Yeah.
really cool old ladies, I think we get to take that back. We get to, especially for ourselves. And I feel like I'm better now with my kid. And I apologize. Bailey's not listening, I'm sure, because she's busy. But Bailey, if you listen to this, I didn't know these things when because what I've found, and I don't know if your boys do this,
Yeah.
my girls talk amongst themselves.
Oh, yeah, they do too.
And they compare notes.
Yeah, they talk amongst themselves.
I had my child who doesn't even drive yet the other day going, well, Bailey said you didn't give her gas money. I'm like, why is this relevant? Why? And I'm like, I did give her gas money. I don't know how she thought gas got in her car. They have compared notes.
Oh, yeah, they do that.
As
They'll
to
do that.
what I give them.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
they do that.
fair but not equal. I treat everybody fair. I'm
I like
telling
that,
you,
fair but not equal.
whoever wants to do the dishes and do their laundry and clean their rooms, I'd probably buy them a friggin' Ferrari. That's all I'm asking. But I mean, the main thing is I treat them differently because I've learned as I've gotten older. And they do
Yeah.
tease the little one. They're like, you're going to have it made.
Made, of
I'm like,
course.
yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm kind of figuring this out. By the time kids get out of the house, parents have it figured out.
Yeah.
And so I can't take back. I told them I will pay for their therapy when they're older, but we can't take it back.
Yeah. Yeah. We
So
can't.
now
Yeah.
I feel like we have this opportunity and obligation
Yes.
to help them at whatever stage our kids are.
Yeah.
And to help ourselves, most
Right.
importantly.
I think helping ourselves is really the most important part because as we help ourselves, we grow.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh, now I get it. Now I can help the others. Because really.
It's that oxygen mask thing.
Yeah. And I think for all of us, I mean, we really want the best for our kids. But we do what
Yeah.
we know at the time. You
Right.
know?
Well, and we try to do what we know. But
Yeah.
it's frequently, like, you guys have to think, especially with your parents, those of you guys that are younger and listening and still, have, parents that you have relationships with, we all try. We're
Yeah.
trying our best, but we're figuring it out. And I don't think I realized that until recently, that we're all still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, we are. And it's like one of the things I do with my boys. Sometimes they're like, Mom, you're not listening. So I'm trying to do better on that. It's like,
Two
okay.
ears, one mouth. Yep.
And I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen to you. Let me hear. Okay, let me hear what you're saying. And not already have an assumption, already have a response before he finishes. I try to
That's
hold
a
back
tough
on it.
one.
It is tough.
Yeah.
And they can tell when you're
Because
doing
I
that.
practiced the responses like 2 days ago.
I know.
Yeah,
Mine was like a week ago. But,
Well, you got boys.
I now got boys.
You've got to watch
But
that.
I'm learning all of that.
Yeah.
But I love who I'm becoming in learning more about who I am, and that to me is a journey in itself.
But and I think that started, like you said, with the question, what did I enjoy as a child?
Oh, my goodness,
And kind of bringing
yes.
that. But you have to sit with that one. Like, I'm literally sitting here thinking, I don't know. And I think part of that, and we're going to talk about that on another episode,
Yeah.
part of that is because I didn't allow myself as many adventures as I should have.
And allow yourself. It's like when I tell my clients, I tell them, okay, you know what? When we finish with this session, I want you to just kind of schedule some time alone.
Yep.
Get your favorite beverage and just kind of allow yourself to think. Because most
Wine.
times, wine, if that's your and allow yourself to really think, like, just go wild. Most of us don't even do that. It's like we feel that that's a luxury. I'm like, no, you get to do
So
this.
how do you dig deeper? Like, what do you get them
Just
to think?
allow them. Just think, like, what really excites you. Like, if money wasn't an issue, you didn't worry about what people thought, you had no fear, like, what would you really love to do?
See, because that's cool. Because those are the big things: it's money, what people think, and fear.
Fear. Like, if none of those
So you're
were an
saying
issue,
take those off the table.
Take this off the table. Like, what would you just go wild? Like, what would yours be, girl? Come on, let's go.
I don't. We're bringing back up 50 Shades. No. I don't. I like arts and entertainment a lot.
Okay.
Like, and you guys, you've heard me say this. My bucket list item, which I've
Yeah.
never done, is karaoke. And I've
Karaoke.
talked about this on the show before because I am ridiculous as a singer, like ridiculously bad.
But that's not the point, though.
I mean, I am horrific.
That's okay. I am too. When I sing, my friends knock on the window, like the window's about to break. They're
Yeah.
holding everything. They're like, stop.
I know.
And that's okay. but it's the fun and the joy
Yeah,
that comes out
it's.
when you're
I mean,
doing
I
it.
was trying to think because I do like turning up the music and music is good for me, and I think that's fine. Now I don't play an instrument. One of the things I've always wanted to do.
See, it's coming now.
I know
It's
this
coming.
is it, and I've thought about this because this may also be on my bucket list. So the two things I would say really big.
Yeah.
Is I've always wanted to play the drums.
Nice.
When I was in band, when you're forced to be in band, here in Georgia, we were forced to be in band. I wanted to play the drums.
Oh, I love that.
My mom said they were too loud,
Okay. Yeah.
that I had to play the clarinet. I was god awful at the clarinet. There was a reed. It was all slobbery. It was disgusting. I was terrible. I was like last chair.
Yeah.
I had to do it.
Yeah.
It sounded like my dad found the clarinet at his house. I have it at my house now. And I was like, my kids were like, please do not even get that out. But I played the clarinet because my mom wouldn't let me play the drums. So later I found out she was not allowed to play the drums.
Oh.
And I'm like, you squashed my dream because somebody squashed my man, I squashed hers.
Yeah.
So I've thought about taking drum lessons.
Do it.
Like
Oh
my
my
old roommate, one of my
goodness.
roommates, Aaron, when I was in college, was a drummer
Yeah.
because I went through that whole rock star
Yeah,
stage.
yeah,
So my ex-husband's a rock star, my old roommates, but he played drums and I thought it was cool. So I'd go to the studio and they teach me,
Yeah.
and I can keep a beat.
Yeah.
But my daughter's like, Mom, 2 beats, like seriously 2.
But that would be so cool if you take
I
up
think it'd
the
be fun.
work.
That's what I've always
And then
wanted to do.
invite us when you have the whatever it is, the
Do
performance.
they call
So
it
I don't even know what they call it.
recital?
Yeah, I mean, we'll come in and just cheer you on. I think that'd be so cool.
I think it'd be fun. And then, so here's where, and I will. All right, I will commit because I'm a big.
Yeah,
I'm
I know.
a commitment person. I
Yes.
gotta throw it out there. I will check into School of Rock, which is biased, because I don't want to be playing like marching band stuff. No offense to the marching band people, but
That's not what you're looking
The
for.
high school is not going to bring me in. But there's a School of Rock near my house, and you get
Do
to
it.
play like a little concert.
Wow.
I think it'd be cool. I've got long hair. I can swing my hair. No, that would be
and
it.
have the whole
It would
outfit
be-
ready. I think that would be
Oh,
so cool.
you know I've got the outfit.
I know you do.
I've kind of got the. Yeah.
You have it all going on.
The rocker. I only wear black. I've got
So,
the
right.
outfit covered. But I did throw my splash of navy today.
And I noticed that. I'm like,
mixing
ooh,
it up
look at
with
her.
a
She's getting
color.
adventurous.
I know. Just going out there. It's a little crazy today. But all right. So all right. I will do that. The drumming
That's
is one,
good.
and I think the other thing for me that I did not do.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't regret it because I don't believe in having regrets. Whatever choices you make, it was the right choice for you
Mm-hmm. Yes,
at the time.
at the
Even if it
time.
was the wrong choice, it was the choice you wanted
Yes,
to make at the time.
exactly.
So I would say learning to play drums and traveling more. And traveling would
Yeah.
also involve a language. So as you know, I was
Nice.
supposed to go to Italy.
Yeah.
And I've talked about this on the show. So last year when I turned 50, my plan was to take 2 weeks in Italy. And it was going to be a girlfriend. And you pushed back on me on that. You're like, I was going to do this 2-week girlfriend trip and people were
Yeah.
going to come. And you're like, go by yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're like, you're going to be a cruise director for 15 other drama women. And I don't
with
do drama.
yourself.
So I was going to go by myself. Kwavi said, go, get a villa, do whatever,
Yes.
write, because the
Oh,
book was coming out and everything.
yeah.
And so that's what I was going to do. And
It's still in the books, but just
it's still in the books. We had to,
COVID.
COVID decided I was not going to go to Italy.
Yeah.
But traveling then, but I'm going to go.
Yeah.
I don't know what the rules are
Yeah.
going to be. Lord knows the
No,
travel
but
rules.
it's okay now to go to. I have a friend in Italy right now. You can go to Italy, and she's having a ball too, and she went by herself. So
You can go? I don't know.
Yeah.
I need to check in the
yeah,
restrictions.
Italy, you can go.
Nice. All right. Sign me up.
Yes.
Let's
Yeah.
go. So that would be cool.
Yeah.
But I think the travel and the drums for me, that was it. And if, I get excited, that's kind of cool.
See,
Because you get
exactly.
excited talking about it.
I can tell.
I like
look
it.
the expression on your face.
My kids are going to be crawling under the table at my drum recital, and I'm going to love every minute of it.
Exactly.
Because embarrassing kids is kind of my
I think
thing.
that's fun. I think a few years ago, what I did was I've always wanted to. Do you guys remember Fame? The
Oh,
show?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So
yeah, I know
was,
that they-
so
that-
I
oh, I could
wanted
do the
I wanted
intro
to be
dance
in.
and everything.
I was like that. I was like, oh goodness, I want to be one of them.
Oh,
So
they
there's
were
a
good.
dance. I think we talked about this.
We
a
were gonna
dance
do
studio.
the dance class.
So I went to the dance class, and they had a whole recital thing where you actually perform after a certain number of
I
weeks,
would
and we
so
did
do that.
we did the 80s like pop thing, and we had
Did you
leg
get to wear
warmers.
leg warmers?
Yes.
Nice.
Pink
Okay.
leg warmers. It was fun.
Okay.
So it's like, yes.
I love Ingrid and them are probably sitting out there going, we weren't even born here. You're all- Everybody born in the 2000s or the late 90s. Y'all missed the leg warmer stage. It was
Oh, it
fantastic.
was.
We have talked
With the
several times on the
leotards?
show about parachute pants. I was told by my
Yeah.
stylist, Amy, who I know is traveling today, so she's probably not listening, never to mention parachute pants again. But I thought they were fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, so the dancing is good. I would put that'd be a
Oh,
very
that was-
close third on my
and
list
see, the
too.
thing about doing these
And
things
I
that
dance
you-
horribly too.
doesn't matter. It's the feeling that you get when you do it. And that's
It's
the
a
thing.
feeling.
It's a feeling. And see, our feelings drive us to create so many different things in our lives. So once you're in that feeling like, oh yes, I'm doing something I truly enjoy, finances, relationships, other things just follow through that.
All right, so
For
let's
real.
talk about that for a minute because I
Yes.
think that's a good point. Is the good stuff? I think good follows good. I really
Yeah.
do.
Oh, yeah.
And so
I
if
agree.
we're because you coach people and do a lot of life coaching for women over 50. I do business strategy.
Yes.
But I always get into lifestyle. Like I do business strategy and
Yes.
lifestyle strategy because they blend.
They
You
do.
can't be crushing it in your business with a horribly bad personal life. It does. They don't work.
They don't.
It
Doesn't
all
work.
It all kind of seeps into each other.
You're right. I agree totally.
So
Yeah.
do you feel, because I will say my people that I get to coach that have, I don't want to say good lifestyles or good, but are doing fun stuff, doing stuff they love, it
Yeah.
always translates
It
into
does.
growth in business.
Oh my
100% of the time.
100%. I agree. Because that's who you are at your core. Like, what do you enjoy doing? Like when there's, you're just chilling at home or whatever, whether it's dancing, by yourself or singing at the top of your lungs in your car, it makes a difference.
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
What do you do?
Amy is listening. Amy, I'm sorry for the comment about the parachute pants, but it was 80s. It was a disguise. I won't wear them, but maybe for a dance class, I'll wear them.
Yeah.
I thought you were traveling because I know you're going out of town. So, but it's true. But there are these things that we gravitate towards they were these little sparks. Yeah. Which is probably why, since Amy has listened, this is probably why I do enjoy fashion so much. Because again, third grade wanted to open a clothing store.
Yeah,
but there are these little things. The truck driver went completely away. But I do like road trips.
So there's
I have a very small car, but I do like road
Yeah.
trips. So there are these probably little things that we had throughout our younger life.
Yeah.
So I think I like the idea of just kind of sitting with that for
Oh
a
yeah,
while.
you have to sit with it because it's not because you don't really think about it in your everyday life. You actually have to sit and then write down, and then you're amazed. And then once you start writing, it's like, oh my, and this and this and this, and you're like, ah. And then you get excited. And if someone is watching you at that point, it's like your face is just all lit up.
Y'all see my face all lit up? So we've got to, all right. So if we're combining I've got drums, dancing, traveling
Yeah,
would be fun.
Yeah.
I think we throw fashion in there. I don't know what to do with fashion.
I
Shopping.
think, yeah.
Well, actually, that was part of the Italy trip because part of that were some
know.
specific
Oh, my
places I wanted
goodness.
to go
That-
for
yeah.
some of the styles and brands that I like.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I like it.
I know, I like it too. I like it for you.
I know Kwavi's going to be like, all right, we got this. All right. So what other questions? Like if people sit, I think that's great advice is start there. What do they do next?
Yeah. And then the other thing too is I tell them what do you want to create in your life? Like there are 3 questions I always ask them. How do you want to show up for yourself?
Okay.
How do you want to show up for others, like the people, the intimate circle in your life? And how do you want to show up in the world? And those 3 questions, I get them to answer them for themselves. It's like, my goal is I want my clients to create a future that is way more exciting than their past. I'm like, I want them to open their mind to that.
But do people really think they want to create a future that's worse than their past, or they just don't
They don't think it's
verbalize
possible.
it?
They don't verbalize it. They don't even think that. They're like, okay, I just go with the flow. What do you mean go with the flow? I'm like, sorry, no, we're not going with the flow.
But I think that's not fair. I think it's stupid for those of y'all that are doing that because so many people are just existing through life.
Thank
that
you.
was where, I think with both of the books that I've done, it's because I got ticked off with people just staying where they are.
Thank you.
Because they're just you're choosing to stay where you are. If you
Yeah.
don't make a change, you still have made a choice.
You have made a choice, yeah. And I think for me, it's kind of similar to what you said. I look at women, I feel that they're sleepwalking. I'm like, seriously, we need to wake up. It's like you're sleepwalking through life. Amazing things are happening.
Yeah.
And you're not part of it.
Yes.
You can be part of all of that.
All right, so you've got, and I think that is you can not sleepwalk. You can live in the moment and experience. And we just got a comment from my friend Jeff who says, just dance. And I'm going to point this out, Jeff. So when I wrote You're Not For Everyone,
Yes.
and I talked about the chapter, I talked about worrying about what other people think. Okay, that's a big thing.
Yes.
And I talked about a high school friend of mine who will literally just start dancing in the middle of Waffle House.
Oh my goodness.
That's Jeff. That's Jeff who just commented Just Dance. So he is page, I forget the page, Jeff. I know you know the page number because you'll tell me that. But he just will and here's the difference. He can dance. I can't dance.
Okay, but this is
But
the
he
thing
will
then.
just stop and just dance, and everybody loves it, and it makes you can't not smile.
Exactly. And see, that's why I love Jeff for that.
Yeah.
Because, when you decide that, you know what, this is something I love, I'm going to do it anyway. I mean, can you imagine the freedom in doing that? It's amazing. And then people are loving it.
But you have to not care what people think. And I think that's what stops people. I know it's what stops me.
Most of us, yes.
While you guys are probably sitting here going, you don't have a filter. You definitely don't care what people. At the end of the day, we do.
We do.
We do.
Yeah,
And
we
so
do.
even though I have somewhat of a filter. I like to joke that it's broken. But I can put it on situationally. Like I know when I can get away with stuff.
Yeah.
I know, which is why I keep my inner circle very small because those people I don't care. Like
Right.
you guys aren't going to judge me. I kind of know, what I get. But for so many of us, that's hard to do.
Yeah,
it's
but
hard to
but
just
I'm with
let
Jeff
go.
on the dance though because I could dance anywhere. I really don't care. I'm like, okay, when Peru had an opening for her salon, myself and Lisa were dancing. No one else. We're like, how can we get this DJ has been paid for it? Let's make it worth his while.
I would have danced
dance.
with you.
So
I was in New York, but I would have danced with you. So, all right, page 65. There we go, Jeff. He's put it on there. But it's true. Like, I feel like we need to, whatever that is.
Whatever it is.
A year from now, y'all are going to regret this because I'm going to be playing drums. I'm just going to start carrying around a snare drum. Yeah. Little
Exactly.
my mom got me a little desktop set. It was about this big of drums, and you could play. It was kind of not off pitch, and I put somebody's picture on it and broke it.
Oh my goodness! I'm excited for you.
I think it'll be fun. I'm going
that's
to be
the
dancing.
thing.
So, people organizing the Super Bowl, if you need a halftime entertainment,
That's right.
Kwavi and I are ready.
We're
next
ready.
Season.
Yeah, I'll dance. You play the drums, right?
That's right. I think it's good. All right, so those are the questions we're going to ask you. You have to sit with yourself.
You have to sit with yourself.
What got you excited?
Mm-hmm. And then really, how do you want to show up for yourself? Because a lot of us have these masks that we've carried through the years.
Yeah.
And we need to really take those layers off for real. And
That's
it's like,
true.
who are you at your core?
And we're given permission to any age to do this, but especially like we're mandating it
For over 50.
For over 50.
Over 50. No excuses. Do it. Just
because
do it.
too many people, I've just had a lot of loss in my friend group and friends of ours that I'm super close with that have lost people close. It's just life is short, and I think we're constantly reminded of that.
Yeah.
That if we're not doing things that we enjoy,
Right.
with the people we enjoy being around,
Yeah.
and I'm good at that part. You know me. I will.
Yeah.
I don't spend time with people. Time is very limited quantity for me, so I don't spend time with people that don't bring me energy.
Right.
But you're right. We need to figure out the things, not just the people.
The things that you truly enjoy doing, and do them anyway. Even if people are like, "Why are you doing that?" Because people are going to say, "Like, really? You're going to do that?" Doesn't matter. Do it anyway.
I like that. I kind of like surprising people.
I know, me too. I'm like that too. I think that's
know.
my rebellious
I need to do
part.
more. Get ready for some surprises. Kids, get the music, get the speaker ready. We're dancing this weekend. Hey, I'm going to Nashville this weekend too, so just for a day.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure there's dancing in Nashville. Can I bring a kid to a bar? Probably in Nashville.
Yeah, you probably can.
Okay. Good. Never know. Might just be doing it.
Yay!
All right.
I'm so excited.
Well, Kwavi, when is it? Talk about 50 things to answer when you reach 50. When is it coming out?
It's actually available now, but the actual launch is August 1st. But it's available on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com. Yeah.
Very, very nice. All right. So you guys check this out because I think we need to, and it's got space when I speak through. It's got space to write the answer. So you guys know I'm big about the journaling and the writing and all that. But it's a guide to help women shine and thrive in their 50s and beyond. So as we're thinking about these things, and if you want to write your little 50 Shades Over 50 things in there, just go for it.
Yeah.
But I think we can all take this opportunity to reevaluate and ask ourselves those questions.
Yeah. And one of the things I want to encourage everyone who does purchase the book, when you write the answers, there's no question that has an answer of I don't know. If you did know, what would you put down?
I laugh because I say that to my clients all the time. Like, I don't know. Like, well, if you thought you knew, what would you say?
Exactly.
So I don't tolerate that excuse either. Yeah.
No, don't close your brain, because when you say I don't know, it just closes your brain for answers. just allow yourself to be open.
I like it. I like
Something will come up.
Love it. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We are going to have another episode with Kwavi next week. So we're going to be talking about adventure and travel and expanding a little bit on this. So have a fantastic week. We will see you again next Tuesday. Kwavi, thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And we will see you guys soon.
Sounds good.